The pitching market has been hot right now. Baseball is popping off right now, so let's talk about it. Welcome back to Good Sports for You, where we are talking about good sports for you. And today we are talking about the pitching market and everything that is happening. There's been a lot going on, and I want to get into all of it. Before we do, I want to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm coming out with baseball content every single week. I will be doing so for the entire offseason. We're talking about news. We're doing quizzes. We're doing tier lists. We're doing all the above. Whatever you can think of, we're doing it here. So let's talk about the very first thing that I want to talk about, which is Dylan Cease to the Blue Jays. Dylan Cease, he signed a massive contract. This was probably the biggest domino to fall. He signed the largest contract in Blue Jays history, free agent contract, I should say, not including an extension like Vlad Jr. 7-year deal worth $210 million. That is a lot of money. And here's what I got to say about Dylan Cease. Do I like the signing for the Blue Jays? Yes, I do. I really do. Genuinely. Because it makes their rotation stronger, which was kind of a weak part of their year. I mean, Trey Savage, if he is going to be the guy that he is, that just makes the rotation better already. Dylan Cease is a little up and down. He is obviously one of the best strikeout pitchers that we have currently in the big leagues. He is fantastic at striking people out. He's a little up and down. Some years he's really good. The next year he's not so good. This past year, he really struggled. He had a 4.55 ERA. Do you want a 4.55 ERA from a guy that you're paying $30 million every year for the next 7 years? No, not at all. But like I said, he strikes out a lot of guys, but I can't help but feel that the idea of Dylan Cease is better than Dylan Cease himself. Like, you have this idea of this guy who, like, he strikes out so many guys. He has some of the best stuff in the game. But for whatever reason, the numbers don't always reflect it. And I know that there's FIP, which is fielding independent pitching, and I want to talk about that a little bit. Basically, what FIP is it's your ERA if the fielders just weren't there at all, essentially. So it, like, takes away bad defense, it adjusts for all sorts of things. And his FIP has always been consistently lower than his ERA for his entire career and for his past, 3 seasons or so. But my thing is at what point do you say, and FIP is like an indicator stat, right? So at what point do you say, okay, his FIP is just better than his ERA? But the point of pitching a ball and to being a pitcher is to limit runs. So you want your ERA to be as low as it can be. Even if the FIP is low, if the ERA isn't low, I don't care, because FIP is all hypothetical. It's all imaginary. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the idea of Dylan Cease is so good, it definitely warrants the $210 million contract. I don't know if the actual Dylan Cease warrants a $210 million contract, but it does strengthen the Blue Jays rotation, and I do like the move for the Blue Jays. They obviously just made the World Series. They're going to contend again this year. If they bring back Bo Bichette as well, is that going to impact this at all? Because that's a lot of money that they just spent. Are they going to have the money to bring back Bo Bichette, which I do think should be their number one priority? Next up, we're going to have Sonny Gray going from the Cardinals to the Red Sox. My apologies. This was not a shocking move in terms of the Cardinals moving him. The destination, I think, makes a ton of sense. The Red Sox are looking to make a push, and you add a veteran starter who knows how to get the job done. Unlike Dylan Cease, where it's like you could get this Cy Young caliber pitcher, you know what you're getting with Sonny Gray. At most, you're getting a borderline all-star pitcher who can put together a really good season and can give you solid innings. At a bare minimum, you're getting a very quality starting pitcher who can give you innings. Maybe an ERA somewhere in the 4s, but he's going to go out there and he's going to pitch and he's going to give you a chance to win, which is what the Red Sox need right now. Obviously, you have the rotation that's highlighted by Garrett Crochet. Now you have a solid guy in Sonny Gray. If you can build around them a little bit and piece together some pieces, I think that would be incredible. So they can definitely make a push. And then on the Cardinals side of things, I actually like the move even more, because the Cardinals need to blow it up. I mean, what they did last year is not getting the job done. They had a couple of big pieces that they could have moved, and those pieces are Nolan Arenado, Brandon Donovan, and Sonny Gray. Those 3 guys are older, coming off of decent seasons. Nolan Arenado is always going to have value because he is Nolan Arenado. He's a future Hall of Famer. He's one of the best defensive third basemen ever. Sonny Gray is always going to have value because he's a quality starting pitcher. Brandon Donovan just came off of a very good season. Trade him while he's hot. And also he can play a little bit everywhere, people like that. This is the real first domino to fall for this Cardinals team. Because it looks like they're starting to look towards a rebuild. And they got two solid young pitchers in return. They got Richard Fitts and Brandon Clark. Richard Fitts is 25 years old with some experience in the big leagues, although this past season didn't go great. He has a career 3.97 ERA, which is fine, but last season it was a 5 ERA. You don't love that. And you got Brandon Clark, who's 22, who is most recently in high A ball and is now the number 7 prospect in the Cardinals organization. And what I gotta say is this is the perfect move for the Cardinals because, like I said with Sonny Gray before, his ceiling is at best an all-star caliber pitcher. He's not going to go out and win a Cy Young this year. He's just too old for that. And at a minimum, you're getting just a quality rotation piece. The Cardinals can't afford that right now because if Sonny Gray goes out and pitches really, really well, then you have this guy who's a good pitcher on a really terrible team that's not moving the needle at all. If you have Sonny Gray put up the season that he put up last season and to make the jump to even a guy who finishes like 5th in Cy Young, you're maybe getting 3 or 4 more wins on the season with this Cardinals team. Like, the Cardinals team isn't good right now. So they're starting to move into a direction that's going to change that. And it's going to go down first before it goes up. And getting guys like Richard Fitts and Brandon Clark, if you can turn one of those guys into a borderline all-star pitcher, and if you can have the other one be a quality rotation piece, like, for example, like if you look at Quinn Priester for the Brewers now, he was traded over from the Red Sox as well. And he was kind of struggling around in the big leagues. And then when he was with the Brewers, he pitched really well and had a really solid season. If you could have, like, Richard Fitts, for example, turn into, like, a Quinn Priester, and if you could have Brandon Clark turn into a borderline all-star, or even just, like, a quality pitcher, then you have, like, a 2 and a 3 at least that you could build around, or even a 4. And you know what? Having any kind of quality starting pitching in your rotation in the future is going to be good. Sonny Gray wasn't beneficial to them now, so they're building towards the future, which I really like for the Cardinals, and I like the move for the Red Sox as well. When you're looking at now the next piece, which is going to be Devin Williams to the Mets. 3 years, $45 million. That's a lot of money for a reliever. I'm getting that out of the way first. I mean, $15 million each year, and I will say I think Josh Hader did not irreparable damage, but an irreparable change to the way that relievers get paid. He got paid so much. And now Devin Williams is following suit. He's making a lot of money. Yeah, he's not making Josh Hader money, but he's making a lot of money. I mean, $15 million for a guy who's coming in once a game at absolute most and pitching at most 1 inning is a lot. But we know what Devin Williams can be. If the Mets can find the Devin Williams that he was with the Brewers, this is going to look like a steal. He is going to be one of, if not the best closer in all of baseball. If you get the Devin Williams that came with the Yankees in that trade, you are looking like absolute fools, and Devin Williams and his agent are looking like geniuses, because now you're getting a guy who's a negative to the team, pitching at a 5 ERA, taking $15 million from you every single year. Now, there are a lot of questions when it comes to this Mets team and with this signing. The free agents are still out there. You have Edwin Diaz, who could be leaving the Mets now because of this. But if they bring back Diaz, how would that fit in? Are they going to look to sign more relievers? Is Devin Williams going to be back to being a closer like he was in Milwaukee? Or will he go back to being a Senate man like he was in with the Yankees? Those are all things that are all up in the air that the Mets need to figure out. And then the final piece of the puzzle is, do you have the money now to bring on Pete Alonso to a long-term contract? It's interesting. It's interesting because you had that Marcus Semien deal, which you're paying Marcus Semien more money than you were paying Brandon Nimmo. However, Marcus Semien is on for a shorter deal. You're signing Devin Williams to a large contract, but only for 3 years. If Edwin Diaz walks, then you're saving some money. I think that Pete Alonso, bringing him back, needs to be the priority for the Mets right now. So I'm really, really intrigued to see what they will do with that, because I think that is the biggest piece of the puzzle for this Mets team, because if not, I think things are going to fall apart very shortly for that Mets team. They need to figure it out. And I mean, you can never go wrong with getting more relievers. And there are still a lot of relievers on the market for all the teams. And the thing about relievers, and the reason that I have an issue with a 3-year deal for $15 million every single year is relievers are so volatile. You can, like we just saw, Devin Williams, that was a surefire deal, as surefire deals can be for the Yankees. They're trading for the best reliever in baseball, and you're giving up Caleb Durbin and Nestor Cortez. Oh, sweet, swish. That's an easy win for the Yankees. And then Devin Williams really, really struggled. Could it have been a change of scenery? Could it have just been a new year? Could have batters have figured him out? Every single year, there's going to be a new reliever who has some sort of pitch that hitters just can't figure out. For years, it was Devin Williams with his airbender. It was Josh Hader's slider. It was other guys like fastballs. There's some pitches and some pitchers that they just can't figure out for like a season or two, and then they figure them out. And so I think the question that we're going to see is, has the MLB actually figured out Devin Williams, or is this just a little blip in the radar for him? So I think the Mets are really banking on that it was just a blip in the radar and that they can take it on long term. So I think it's going to be an interesting season for the Mets. I mean, I like the deal for Devin Williams because he got paid. And I like the deal for the Mets because you're adding more relievers at the end of the day. And I do believe in Devin Williams. I think he has the potential to be one of the best, if not the best closer in all the games. Speaking of potential to be one of the best closers, if not the best in all the games, Ryan Helsley signing to the Orioles. He was the reliever of the year in 2024. He struggled in 2025 with the Mets. Which also, the Mets, sometimes you struggle with the relievers, whatever. But he has a career 2.96 ERA, and he signed a 2-year, $28 million deal with the Orioles. So again, I mean, it's similar AAV to Devin Williams. It's a little bit lower. It's a 2-year deal, and he has an opt-out after this year. But the Orioles got their closer, and it makes their team better, and I really, really like this deal for them. It's kind of a low-risk, high-reward scenario, because on the one hand, you could have Ryan Helsley like absolutely chuck for you, and then you're like, okay, we have our closer for this season. And if like everything else forms together around him and Gunnar Henderson puts up another good season, Jackson Holliday takes a step forward, Adley Rutschman bounces back, if all those pieces, if Colton Cowser, if all these guys can put up a quality season, if you have Ryan Helsley, that's one less thing you need to worry about, essentially. And if things don't work out this season, if they really struggle, they can say, hey, we got one of the best relievers in baseball. Who wants it, essentially? Try to get back a prospect in return. Try to get back anything. Shed some money. But long story short is I like the deal for them. These are the type of deals that I want to see them making, is signing these kind of smaller but still large name free agents that are going to bring you in a good player at the end of the day, because that's what the Orioles need. They just need some good players to round out this team and to be ready to make the jump when the rest of the team makes the jump, essentially. Next up, we have a little bit of the smaller deals that I just wanted to touch on. Alek Manoah, 1 year to the Angels, 1 year, $1.95 million. 2022, he was so good. He finished like third in Cy Young voting. And then he's really struggled since then. All sorts of issues. He went down to like rookie development league even. Like it's been bad for him. So I wish him all the best of luck. And I will say, if you traveled 3 years into the past, so 2022, and you said that Alek Manoah is signing to a 1-year deal to the Angels, people would have expected him to be paid like $20 million a year for one season. But things have fallen off for him. But if the Angels can find a way to tap back into him, they are making kind of sneaky good deals around the edges. I liked the Grayson Rodriguez deal. I like this signing for them. It's very low risk, and you have the potential to get decent reward. And yeah, other kind of like under the table moves is going to be Cody Ponce to the Blue Jays, 3 years, $30 million. Now I know this isn't a big deal. He was the KBO MVP, which is the Korean baseball organization, their MVP. He's only had 2 years in the bigs, and that was in like 2020 and 2021. I remember him with the Pirates. I think I saw one of his starts, and he really struggled. He had a 5.86 ERA. I know it's only $10 million. Only $10 million. I wish, right? I don't like it at all, though. The last KBO pitcher that I remember seeing who was the MVP, he was the best pitcher in all of Korean baseball, was Josh Lindblom, who the Brewers signed. He was fantastic in Korea. And he was dreadful in the bigs. He really, really struggled. My concern is the same thing is going to happen with Cody Ponce. He struggled in the big leagues in his small time here. For a 3-year deal, it's not really a prove it deal even. It's that's a long-term deal, honestly, at the end of the day. So we'll see what happens. I mean, does it add some depth to the starting pitching? Absolutely. But my concern is that he's going to struggle, and now you're paying $10 million a year to a guy that you may have to put into like a long reliever scenario, which you don't love at all. But I mean, you add another starter for the Blue Jays who could use starters, so I don't hate it. And then the final deal is going to be the Astros signed Ryan Weiss, who's also another KBO player. He never played time in the big leagues. He played in the minor leagues. So we'll see what happens there. I'm not expecting much. But all these things to say is there are a lot of pitchers on the move right now, and there are still players for your team to sign. I think of like Efraim Valdez is still out there. There are still guys that your teams can sign. But as we can see, the market is really hopping right now. The teams who are trying to compete are trying to compete. Red Sox are trying to compete. Blue Jays are trying to compete. Mets are trying to compete. Orioles are throwing in some chips in there too. The Blue Jays aren't messing around. They're really trying to do their thing. I mean, they're trying to stack this rotation. They feel like they have a good team. I'd love for them to sign Bo Bichette still. And then the Sonny Gray trade, I think, is the next big move. I love the move for the Red Sox. I really like the move for the Cardinals as well. Devin Williams to the Mets, high risk and high reward. You're paying him a lot of money, but it could really pay off for you. Ryan Helsley, kind of lower risk, but also high reward. I love it for the Orioles. You're building this young team, and if this is the year that they decide to pop off, then you'll be ready. Alek Manoah, Cody Ponce, Ryan Weiss, great, making moves, making them money. But that's all I got. It's been a lot of things happening, but I'll keep everyone updated. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those things, and I'm out. Peace.